We start off a whole new racing season on Monday in the Eastern Cape. Looking forward to the 8-carded races, and we will be racing on the Poly surface. Race 1 is a fillies and mares maiden plate, and we start off over the 1200 metre trip. Here my selections for the first three are 3, 1 and 8. So I'm going to lead with Host of Angels, who I do think has given 2 good accounts of herself in the Eastern Cape so far, and last time I did try a little bit further when finishing third behind Lucy Bell. Her best performance has been over course and distance in her penultimate, went second to Showtime Baby, but what I really like about that Lucy Bell form line is how well it's held up, and from 2 subsequent runners there's already been 2 winners, so I do think that bodes well for Host of Angels here, and also very positive comments coming forward from the yard, which is always encouraging. In saying that, also got nice feedback for number 1 Hot Marmalade, who will debut in the Eastern Cape, and always exciting to see Duke of Marmalade progeny try the Poly, and also always exciting to see Fair Western Cape form run for the first time, especially in maiden company in the Eastern Cape. So there's a lot to like about number 1 Hot Marmalade. I'll expect her to be challenging strongly. Horse number 8 is where I go for third, and that is Beach Bound. The Coup de Gras filly will also be having her first run on the Poly surface, and it's another stallion whose progeny performed well on it, and last time out on a debut in the Eastern Cape was a fair fourth, so I do think we'll see her closer. Race 2, a maiden plate over the mile trip. 2, 5 and 1 are my initial selections here. I do think that the Gavin Smith yard have a very strong hand. The question is, which one? I've elected to go with Jaspero. He has been knocking hard, and I thought a lot of his run last time out when third behind Cape Raider Bel Punto. I think he can come out on top here. Number 5, Red Bishop, runs out of the Jacques Stradum yard. I think the main concern about him is that he can be a very tricky ride, but he has proven when things go his way he can run very competitively. So if everything goes well for him here, I do think that he's in with a shout. Number 1, Hikaru, another Gavin Smith runner up in all 3 of his latest starts. That just points out that he has very obvious claims at going one better here. Race 3 is a maiden plate for the fillies and mares, staying over the mile trip. And number 2, Manera, is my pick for the win here. The Dynasty filly ran a good second last time out on local debut behind Respectable Miss over the 1400. She tries a touch further here, but tries the Poly for the first time as well. I do think she'll see it out, and the yard don't think she'll have a problem with the surface. So jumping from pole position and off a very, very promising debut run, I do think she's a horse that has a shot at victory. Number 10 is Buttercup, and there's a lot to like about the Silvano filly's form. She's proven on the Poly. Both her starts in the Eastern Cape have been on the surface, and she's taken on male opposition over 12 and 1400 respectively, where she has been doing her best work late. So the step up to the mile here should be right up her alley, and I do think she's going to be a very lively contender. For third, horse number 3, In Between Dreams, is going about things the right way. If you have a look at her very best form in the Eastern Cape, it has been over course and distance, went second to Let's Rock and second to Sienna. I do think she is a horse that should also be involved in the fray. Staying over the mile trip as we step up in class to a merit rated 68 handicap, which is race 4. Here, Baltic Beat is a horse of interest for me, and I'm tipping him to beat number 2, Zigzag, and number 5, Homer Fidget. Baltic Beat was expected to need his run last time out, and as a result, I still think he did a good job to do his best work late and finish in 4th behind La Bastide. He'll be a fitter horse here. He is well placed over course and distance and drawn well with the apprentice claim. I think he himself has got claims here. Number 2, Zigzag, quite happy to write off that last run. It was on turf, and his prior performances, all of them on Poly in the Eastern Cape, have been really respectable. So look for better from Zigzag. The draw, a little bit of a concern, but he'll be much happier on Poly, and he should be getting a lot closer and be a lot more competitive. Number 5, Homer Fidget, he really is holding form well. Since leaving the maidens, he's been right there in the firing line, and he is overdue to record that second career victory. Don't leave him out, he'll be knocking again. We step right up in trip to 2,200 metres for race 5, which is a classified stakes, and I do think quite an open field. I'm going to take a chance here with number 9, Crystal Stream, not by any means to say that she doesn't have the form to win this, but she is up against male opposition, and she's got to do it from a pretty wide draw. In saying that, she loves the Poly, she has won over course and distance, and she does have the advantage of being best weighted, or joint best weighted in the lineup, which is always an advantage. I think that number 1, Super Noir, has run some really good races of recent. In his penultimate, second to Meerkat last time out, although he didn't feature, he ran 4 lengths off Master Supreme, who has been a phenomenal newcomer to the Eastern Cape that day. He actually recorded his second career victory off the back of a listed win, and he went on to win his next as well. So not a bad horse to finish 4 lengths off of. For third, number 5, Highway Star, recently out the maidens, but his post-maiden run was very encouraging. I do think it's a run that he can build on and that he can get closer here. Moving on to race 6, 1900 meters is the distance for the fillies and mares 80 handicap, and here leading with number 2, Meerkat. The odds say to draw a line through her rather flat last run as things didn't go her way, and there is a lot to like about her penultimate, where over course and distance, against stronger and against male opposition, she came away a very easy winner. So a repeat of that is going to make her the horse to beat. I do think that class-wise, number 1, Nippy Sweetie, is standout in the lineup, and although her last few haven't been anything to write home about, she's being freshened up. She does race back in class here, and I do know that her last work was really decent. So 19 is a stretch for her, but I wouldn't be underestimating her. Number 6, Mifford 2, is another one that races freshened up, and this filly's prior form to the rest was really decent. I do think we'll see her in the shake-up here. All the way back to a sprinting trip for race 7, the penultimate event on the card, which is a fillies and mares 98 handicap over 1,000 meters. And for me, number 1, Gin Fizz, is standout here. I'm tipping her to beat number 2, Spring Break, and of course respect for number 6, Delicacy as well. Gin Fizz last time out, a good third behind What a Winner in merit-rated 100 company taking on male opposition. I think what really stands out for me is that she's only had the 1 start on the Poly, and on that occasion she was an absolutely facile winner over course and distance when beating La Bella Mia by 4 1/4 lengths. So although she has done relatively well in grass since, I'm excited to see her back on the Poly, and though top weight here, and she does have a bit of weight to give away to the others, I think she can prevail. Number 2, Spring Break, also ran behind What a Winner last time out in that merit-rated 100 and finished a fair 5th herself. I do think that she won't be too far back. Number 6, Delicacy, is very well suited distance-wise, 3 of her 4 career wins coming over 1,000 meters, and she has cracked it over course and distance. She gets a lot of weight from stable companion Gin Fizz racing here, carrying only 53.5, and she will have pole position draw advantage as well. So in really good form, 3rd and 2nd respectively in her latest 2 starts. In fact, she was just pipped last time out, or should I say just failed. She was the fastest finisher to reel in Bad Habit, going down by 0.05 of a length. I think we'll see a bit of her here. Last of the afternoon is also a sprint, and over the 1,200 meter trip, it is a merit-rated 90 handicap. And again, it's a career runner that catches me in the way of number 4, Regimental. His form really is self-explanatory, and last time out over 1,000 meters, he did not disgrace himself, running 3rd behind Stranger Danger. His best performances locally have been over 1,200 meters, so back over that trip and in good form, I think he is the horse to beat. Number 1, Wolfgang, definitely draw a line right through that last run. Not a true indication of his ability at all. The odds said, unfortunately, he did make contact quite severely with the rail that day, and definitely to draw a line straight through that. His penultimate run resulted in his 4th career victory as he romped to a 7 1/4 length win over track and trip, and that proves he's one you've got to keep an eye on here. Number 3, Oscar Wilde, is the mount of Charles Ndlovu, and in his local starts here, he's done very well. 2 seconds and a win. That win actually coming on the Poly surface in his penultimate over a touch further, 1,300. He looks on the up, this fellow, and I do think we'll see him in the placings. Get ready for the PA to kick off at 1:05, which is race 2, maiden plate over the mile trip. My first 3 selections here were Jaspiro, number 2, number 5, Red Bishop, and number 1, Hikaru, and they are all PA entries for me. So 3 horses in the first leg of the PA. In the second leg of the PA, race 3 over the mile in a fillies and mares maiden plate, I go in with 2 and 10, being Manera and Buttercup. I do think they're in great form, and although there are a few with chances, I do think that they'll get us through. On to race 4, starts to open up a bit and I go a little bit wider in the PA, all three of my first selections go in, and they are number 1, Baltic Beat, 2, Zigzag, and horse number 5, Homer Fidget. Again, a very open affair, race 5, classified stakes over 2,200, and all three of my first selections will go in again in numerical order. Number 1, Super Noir, number 5, Highway Star, and number 9, Crystal Stream. Race 6 will also get 3 selections in leg 5 of the PA, 1, 2, and 6, Nippy Sweetie, Meerkat, and Miffid 2. Hoping that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. The day looks as if it could get a little bit easier towards the end, and I banker number 1, Gin Fizz, in the penultimate leg of the PA, as well as bankering Regimental in the last leg. That's horse number 4 in race 8. So starting off light, widening up, and then ending up light. For the pick 6, which will kick off in race 3, the PA numbers of 2 and 10 are definite inclusions. I will then also add number 1, Diamonds and Toads, whose form is really solid at the moment, and you've got to feel that she's going to pop up sometime soon as well. Likewise would describe her stable companion, number 3, In Between Dreams. In race 4, wide in the PA, even wider in the pick 6, so 1, 2, and 5 initial PA selections go in, as well as 3, 4, 7, and 8 falling for you, Mary Lee, and then the likes of Fresh from the US and Latest Craze, who has been rounding off his race as well of late. Likewise for race 5, a lot of respect in this open field. 1, 5, and 9, the PA numbers go in, and then 2, 3, 4, and 6 being Baka, Imperious Duke in solid form and racing off the back of his 3rd career win. Number 4, Take the World, draw a line through his last, and then the likes of number 6, King's Fort, who might be having his post-maiden run, but he's really found his feet, now stepping up in distance. Moving on to race 6, which is leg 4 of the pick 6, and again loading up 1, 2, and 6, definite horses of inclusion, and then also put in number 3, Princess of Fire. I know her run was disappointing on Friday, but over this type of trip we could just see more of her. 9, Reef Knot, 10, Corsage, and number 12, Badra are also inclusions for me. Race 7, going to stick with Gin Fizz as a banker. She was my PA banker. She's a pick 6 banker as well. And likewise, as we turn to race 8, Regimental, a PA banker. He'll be a pick 6 banker for me as well. The jackpot mirrors the inner legs of the pick 6 exactly. No changes there. So I'm going to stick with that, stick with those selections. And to round up my best bet and value bet, my best bet will be in race 8, and that's number 4, Regimental. I think he's really going about things the right way, not disgraced over 1,000 last time out. He'll be better suited to the 12, and I expect another big run from him. And my value bet will be in race 5, which for me is very open, and I am going with the best weighted individual there, horse number 9, Crystal Stream. So crossing fingers that we all have a good start to the new season in the Eastern Cape on Monday.